Welcome back to Up the Villa podcast for our predicted lineup of Aston Villa v Bournemouth. So let's get straight on in there. Let's see what we can expect from Bournemouth and what we can expect from Aston Villa and how we're going to set up against Bournemouth. So online, go ahead and share your teams on social media on our website. Drop your predicted lineups and then get involved in the comment section down below. So what we're going to do first, we're going to have a little look at how Bournemouth are going to set up. So they are, without the ball, they are a 4-5-1. And with the ball, they are trying to edge towards a 4-4-2. So what you can see is that they've got Ataria on the left-hand side, so he will play in this position. You've then got Rothwell, Lerma, and then Anthony in this area. We've got Billing, and then we've got Solanke. So Billing is trying to support Solanke as much as possible. And then when Bournemouth don't have the ball, you'll see Billing sit in an area, something similar to that. So how do I feel like Bournemouth are going to set up in this game? Well, we know that Villa love possession. We know that Villa absolutely love possession of the football. So if I had to hazard a guess of a tale of how this game's going to go, Bournemouth are going to look to sit on the counter-attack. They're going to wait and wait for the prime opportunity for them to break up play, get the ball into Billing quickly, and then they'll be away, and then they'll use their pacing wingers to try and exploit Aston Villa. I do see them in this game setting up with a mid to low block. I think it's going to be Aston Villa with majority of the football, but I think the one area in which I feel like they're going to try and hurt Aston Villa most is going to be on their right-hand side. So their right-hand side will be coming up against our left-hand side, which will be Moreno. So we've got to be careful in this game that we don't overcommit, because I feel like if we do overcommit at times, and when I say overcommit, if, for example, this is Moreno who's gone down this area, who's edging towards the halfway line, then Ataria and Jadon Anthony can get in behind our fullbacks and cause us problems in transition. So we've got to be careful positionally that we're being patient with the ball and we're not sort of getting ahead of ourselves and being too open and too attacking, because their biggest threat lies out wide with Ataria and Anthony and Philip Billing running in between the lines. So I think it's careful that we really are wary of that threat. I think Solanke, he's not a goal machine, is he? So I'm not too worried about Solanke, but I'm more worried about Ataria and Jadon Anthony. That is the threat for me. These pacey wingers. So as long as we don't overcommit the fullbacks too much, and they're not sort of playing in that area that Bowen was, because we know that against West Ham, Bowen had a bit of a field day when he was attacking against Moreno, because there was a cross-field ball that just went over the top of Moreno when he was in that area. And you'd sort of got Jared Bowen having quite a lot of joy in this area. So that is one area that I've highlighted that I think we need to be wary of. So let's go back to Villa side of things then. So we'll have a look at how we feel like Villa are going to set up and personnel-wise. So we're going to go with Emi Martinez in goal. I think Martinez, he's got to just do Martinez things. He's got to be patient. His kicking's got to be good. I think that's one thing that we've got to be wary of. I think Moreno will start this game, like I say, for his attacking intent. But again, he's got to be careful that we're not sort of overcommitting too much, going in that area too much, leaving space for their wingers to get in and around that area. If they get a winger in and around that area, when we're in that transition of our three looking something similar to that, then that's where I feel like teams are hurting Villa at the minute. So we've just got to be careful. Moreno isn't sort of too high, I think. So next up, we'll go with Tyrone Mings. We'll go with Ezri Konsa. I've said all week that I think this is the best that they're looking. It's the best version of Mings and Concert that I think I've seen. I think that they're playing really well. They look organised. They look like they know where each other are now. They look like the communication's there. They're looking really good. So I think those two keep their place. But now they've got the added incentive of Diego Carlos now in the matchday squad, which was just absolutely fantastic to see last week. And then we're going to go with Matty Cash. It might be that we go with Matty Cash a little bit further forward. So he might mix it up because he did do that against Crystal Palace, didn't he? So it'll be interesting to see what we do fullback-wise as well. So in the double pivot, I think we'll go with... I think we'll stick with McGinn, and we'll obviously stick with Dougie Luiz. I saw a lot of people in the comment section saying that they would prefer Chambers in there, and I just feel like with that, I think Emery's played his card now, hasn't he? Emery's played his card, and Emery sort of said, I'm not going with Chambers, I'm going with McGinn. So I just don't see him tweaking from that. I think I would hazard a guess and say Villa are optimistic that Kamara would be looked at before the game, but I think just my personal vibe is it probably might be a bit too soon. So I think I'm happy to stick with McGinn in there. I think he played really well. I think he did a brilliant job. So he's not Boubacar Kamara, is he? But, he did a great job in there. So we'll go with McGinn and Luiz. I think they've got to be... They've just got to be exactly the same against West Ham, haven't they? They've got to be creative. They've got to be aggressive. They've got to be winning the midfield battle, which we seem to be doing pretty much on a game-by-game basis now, which is really pleasing to see. We're going to go with Jacob Ramsey again. I think Ramsey will keep his place in this position. I think because Coutinho's out as well, we're a little bit light in this area now, aren't we? So I think Ramsey will keep his position. I think he needs to, again, have another good game. He needs to have a good game, sorry. And we need to see him, progressive carrying. We need to see him getting on the ball, his passing range going. I think that's a big one for me with Ramsey. We need to start seeing a bit of a passing range. We need to see a bit more midfield nous, I think is the word I'm looking for. So an understanding of his role and being in the right area at the right time and sort of dominating that area of the pitch, linking up well with Moreno, driving forward, linking up with Watkins and Buendia and, looking at that left-hand side of the pitch for Villa, starting to see a solid outlet and a style and a bit of a swagger there, I think I want to see. So Ramsey keeps his place for me. I'm going to go with Buendia. You know what's coming. I'm going to go with Buendia in this area. I think the midfield area is a big thing on Saturday. It's about being creative. It's about being patient. It's about finding pockets of space, and I think Buendia can do that at home especially. So I think that's what I'd go with. I think it's strong. I think the midfield four creating that little box. So I think that's something that I would look to go with. And I am gonna go with, and I know what you're all gonna say. I'm gonna go with Bailey. And I'm going to go with Watkins up top. Now, why am I going with Bailey? I'm going with Bailey because at home, arguably, that's the better Bailey. The away Bailey, we just don't see. We don't see any goals, do we? I don't think we have seen a goal from Bailey away from home. But it's an opportunity for him at home to regain some form, regain some confidence, and it's an opportunity for Emery to put some faith in him and give the kids some confidence and say, you know what, go out there and show us what you're all about. It's going to be one of those games where Bournemouth have a low block, so Villa have a lot of the ball. So Bailey's going to be able to occupy this touchline area, and he is going to get opportunities to drive at the opposition. He's going to have opportunities where he gets on the ball and he's able to be creative and show what he's all about. So he's got to take this opportunity for me, because reading the comment sections from Villa fans, time is running out for him, I think. People are losing a lot of patience with him. So I am going to give him another opportunity. I don't think Traoré is fit enough to make a start. So I'm going to go Bailey, and I'm going to try and have some positivity with him going into this match weekend. So it's there. There's an opportunity. Let's see what you're all about. Grasp this opportunity, because I don't want to come on here on Saturday night and talk about the same things about Leon Bailey. So let's have a performance, please. Let's have a solid game where you're keeping hold of the ball to start with and you're offering that outlet, because we are going to need him in and around this area. If a team has got a low block and a mid block, it takes players to be brave on the ball, to pick up the ball in tight areas, to turn, look up and see what's in front of them quickly. And he's got to be that type of player for Villa. And then Ollie Watkins, we know, is a goal machine. So, I'm looking for him to play in on the shoulder of the centre-backs, to be coming in a little bit, maybe Bailey running off him at times and just being a little bit more, of a nuisance in this game. But the movement's got to be key. We've got to move the ball quickly. We've got to get the ball into the channels. We've got to play through Bournemouth's lines as well. We've got to have willing runners through the lines as well. And this is where I feel like we can really hurt Bournemouth in these positions as well. So, that's my team. I want to see more minutes from Duran. I think there's opportunities in this game to see minutes. So I think it's a game that I feel like Villa should be winning. It's a game where I feel like Bournemouth will be sort of camped in their half a little bit, and they'll be looking to break on us with Ataria, with Anthony, Billing running through lines. We've got to watch the crossfield balls over the top, in and behind our fullback. We've got to be switched on with set pieces, and the biggest one we cannot do in this game is concede early. If we concede early in this game, we are in for a tough game, because they will sit in a mid, in a low block, looking to hurt Aston Villa. So, I want to see us from the off, with the ball, dictating play, dictating where Bournemouth are going, and limiting them to any spaces. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to going to Villa Park. I look forward to every time I go to Villa Park now. So it's about us being patient, because, if a team sets up at Villa Park with a mid and a low block, 11 players behind the ball, we have to be patient and work the correct openings and just do our natural thing on how we're playing at the minute. It's going to be a difficult game, because they are in a relegation battle. They are in the relegation zone and they are fighting for their lives. So, they will be coming to Villa Park pretty much for a point. I think their first thought will be, how can we get a point? Let's keep it tight for the first 20. Let's grow into the game. And that's how you see the game going. They have been starting games quite quickly. So like I say, it's down to us to start the tempo, to get things moving, and just to dominate the game. I think we want to dominate play, and that's how I see it going. And I think we'll win the game. I think we'll win the game. So let me know what your thoughts are on the team lineup. Who are you going with? I imagine quite a few of you will go for a different player than what I've gone for, but he's got to perform, and we've got to start seeing levels to his performance. Otherwise, you're gonna start saying Duran and Traoré are ahead of Leon Bailey. So that's where I'm at. So I'm giving him sort of one more opportunity, I think, at home to stake a claim to have a real big performance. So there we go. I'm backing him for this game. I just hope he doesn't let me down. So cheers everyone for watching. If you're new, subscribe, get involved in the comment section down below. Up the Villa.